Hey guys, it's Bonnie from Dwelling Logs. I have a little friend with me today because this is new. I want to talk today about our new year plans, our new school year plans, things that are coming up for the next year, changes that are happening. This is going to be more of a chat video of kind of what's up, our new homeschooling strategy, because things are changing. I find that we have just come out of about a two and a half year season where we had a good routine. We were really happy with how things are going, and now the kids are getting bigger. Our whole daily routine is different. People are sleeping at different times and things like that, and I am finding a little bit more of my groove as a homeschooling mom. So I want to talk about that with you guys today. I'm just going to put this guy back under the heat lamp. Say goodbye. Bye. Okay, so let's talk homeschool strategy and how it fits around our house. I'm going to be giving my perspective where I'm at, where our home is at. There are 1,000,001 right ways to homeschool, so this is just one home's perspective, one mom's perspective. This is what I think is going to be working really well for us for changes, and it may be your story too, and it may not, but hopefully this is still insightful and maybe give you some good ideas for the future. So I started our homeschooling journey 5 years ago when my oldest was in pre-K. I knew I wanted to homeschool. I was homeschooled K to 12, traditionally mostly. We did Abeka, we did traditional work, but my mom also added in some unit studies, and she added in some more sort of unschooling kind of things on top of our workbooks. So I always say I was homeschooled traditionally, but it was more like a feast of learning on top of traditional. We did a lot of school. So I started out, I would say, traditional, and then I have just changed sort of ever since. I love Charlotte Mason principles. I love Montessori principles. I love Waldorf, and I love some aspects of traditional schooling. So here's where I'm at right now for the next coming year. We're talking about starting in 2022, going to 2023. And I have found that I am starting to gravitate towards like the unschooler that still does math and like throws in the odd book or unit study when I'm busy. I personally think that unschooling is a lot of work. I think to follow your kids' interests and to really dive in with them, be their lead learner, and go with them in the places they want to go, that takes a lot of effort and energy, and I love it. It's one of my favorite parts of homeschooling I have discovered, and yet there are times in my life and seasons that are too busy to be completely unstructured and to not have something in the house that's open and go. So I am trying to find that combination of open and go unit studies as well as freedom to do my own creative thing, because I'm a very creative person and I like to have control of everything, which I really, really like. And I think I found a really good strategy. We're starting to implement it right now at the end of this school year. We actually homeschool year round, so technically our year doesn't just start in the fall. We're just kind of go in as soon as we're done kind of the books and things that we're doing. We're going to just kind of start the next school year. So I'm going to show you guys exactly what we're doing for homeschooling. So right now, going from right now and into next year, the workbooks that I have math and I have grammar for my kids. So this is for my grade 3-er. We are doing Singapore math, which is quite challenging, but it works well with him. We had tears at the beginning of this, but now it's going really well. We like Singapore math, but it's definitely for kids that like a challenge with their math. And we are doing Abeka Grammar 3. Now, I actually just got these grammar books because previously to now, if you've watched my other homeschooling videos, we've been doing Gather Round Homeschool. And Gather Round Homeschool has grammar inside of it. It has all of your subjects but math. And we loved it, loved it, loved it. But right now, I want a little bit more of my own time to do my own schooling with the kids, to create my own, throw together topical units. We still want to use Gather Round. We're still going to use their units when they fit the theme that we want to learn. Or like I said, when things get busy and I need an open and go, we're still doing Gather Round, but it's going to be more on a part-time basis. And so because we're doing Gather Round on a part-time basis, that means we only have part-time language arts in our stuff, because if I'm creating the rest, I just find language arts is a little bit hard, and grammar especially. Grammar is something that's hard for me to be consistent with, and to even know kind of all the boxes that I will want to check at the end of the year, and I don't want to miss things. So I have gone back to Abeka grammar workbooks because I find that they're just super handy and I really like them. I loved my Abeka grammar my whole entire life. I did their grammar from kindergarten all the way to grade 12 in Abeka. I love them. And they have a good grammar program. So we are going to be doing language with them. Now, I seriously just bought this language 3 just a little bit ago because I was like, I just want to do this. For my grade 1 son, he is doing language 1, and he is actually, we're trying the new Apologia Mathematics. Now, he went through 2 books this year of Matthew C and has completed the primer and alpha, and we decided we would try the Apologia level 2, so grade 2 math, and he's doing really great starting out with that. So we're technically into grade 2 with him now, even though we're a little bit early on that. We really like this math book. It's very hands-on, I have to say. If you're trying to get away from being side by side with your child at the table doing math, I would not recommend this. If you're trying to get away from playing games and having extra manipulatives, I would not recommend this. However, if your children need visual, need color, need fun, need like tactile, tangible things to hold and learn from, highly recommend it. So far, this is going really well. In fact, my son in grade 3, he really wants to do Apologia Math, but their grade 4 book is not quite out yet. It's coming out. It should be out before the fall. So we may not stick with Singapore since he just thinks these math books look so much fun. But Singapore isn't working good, so I don't know what's going to happen. I love experiencing different math curriculums. I think it's great. I should add too that my boys don't struggle in math, so we have had the opportunity and the freedom to try some different things. I realize there's other families whose kids struggle with math and they try to find a math that really works well for their struggling learner. That's just not what we've had to deal with yet, so we've been able to bounce around a little bit and kind of find what we like. Now, for the rest of the subjects, I want a feast. I love Charlotte Mason's principles, but I love the child-led learning, and I want to somehow combine those all together. And something that I've really recently done, and I'm going to share a resource with you guys, and something that I have made that I am going to use that may be very handy for you guys. I really love the Exploring Nature with Children idea, where that curriculum gives a different nature topic for each week of the entire year, and you bounce from that topic into your subjects. And I love the idea, and I love going on Instagram and seeing like, oh, it's bee week, or it's snail week, or it's moon week, or whatever. And I always feel a little bit left out because we live in Manitoba, Canada, and our local ecology just doesn't fit with that. Our climate doesn't fit with that calendar. And there are parts of that calendar that say, oh, make it fit for you, but we're just too far out. Like we basically have just a smaller window. Also, I really wanted my kids, I want to start getting them to learn our local wildlife, our local trees, our local birds, being able to identify what's out their window. That's a real priority for me, teaching them right now at this age. It's fun to explore around the world. We can take time for that. But overall, I really want to take some time to focus on studying our local species of wildlife and things in nature. So I've created this PDF that you guys can download too if you think this is something that you want, but I just made this, and this is basically what I'm going to be bouncing off of for the next school year, aside from math and grammar, which I showed you. And that is going to be our local ecology nature themes. So I have basically taken nature themes that I want to do with my kids, and I've compiled them into an annual listing. I've started here in April because that's where we're at, but the PDF starts actually in August, and it goes through different themes. You can take a look at it. I will link my blog post about this below. The blog post is where you can download this. Right now it's not in my shop because I want to use it first before I put it in my shop, and so it's available for free for now. No promises about the future. It is April 2022 right now, so get it while it's hot, and after that, it might cost you money. I'm not sure. But anyway, so there's going to be a different theme each week. And isn't this cute? I have like our theme, and then I have a little Charlotte Mason quote here. I wanted to make it pretty. I had it on like an ugly spreadsheet before, which is fine, but then I just thought, I'll do it this way. Also, in this PDF, you guys, I have blanks. So I have all of this blank, so that you guys can fill in your own themes that you want to focus on for each month. I tried to make sure that I was picking local birds and plants and animals that would be able to be observed out of our window or in our area for the time of year we were studying it. So I'm making sure we're not studying honeybees in December. And then I have this week's trails, another quote by Julie Bogart, and this is where it gets interesting. Let me find a blank one. So here we are. I fill out one of these each week now. So here it has theme learning ideas. So if this week, for example, is honeybees, I'm going to write down all of my ideas that I want to go through this week. Like maybe I actually already talked to our local bee farmer. He said maybe we could come by this year and check out the beehives. I'm going to write that on my list. I have bee printables from the last mega bundle that was done. I'm going to write those on the list. Anything that I can think of that I'm like, oh yeah, we should do that when we do bee week, I'm going to write down here, check off when we do it, like which day we do it. And then this is my inspirational list for times when you're wondering, oh, what should we do now? Or things that you want to remember that you want to incorporate. I'm going to read them all for you guys because all of these things are really important to me. Actually, I'm going to read my other one that I have added to because there's a few extra things that I've added to. So there's biblical tie-ins, nature journaling, photography, poetry, hands-on, shared time with others. It's something new I'm going to be trying. Life cycles, read alouds, novel studies, lap books, movies and visual, copywork, dictation, art study, free writing, big juicy conversations, field trips, and anatomy. And those are all things that I continually want to keep using to learn about all kinds of different things. A lot of the things, if you know Brave Writer, a lot of her things are on there. The Brave Writer lifestyles, I put those all on that list. Things like anatomy and life cycles are so fun to do with any kind of creatures and critters. The other thing that I have done, going back to our themes of the week, I've also put a theme of the month that's not necessarily a nature theme, but might go with the topic of the month. For example, Earth Day is in April, so I want to learn about our footprint and eco studies. We're going to learn about earth care and composition. We're also learning about chickens right now, so we're going to be learning about poop and compost and how that ties in with the earth. In May, we're going to go through some of our family history. In June, June is Indigenous Peoples Day in Canada, so we're going to be learning about Indigenous peoples that month. In July, I have skill work in nature journaling. Now, I want to use nature journaling all year round for all kinds of things that we're learning, but I want to make sure we have a month where we're actually improving our nature journaling skills. So maybe we're taking extra art classes that month or extra nature journaling classes so that our nature journaling skills can get better. In August, we're going to have camping and wilderness survival. In September, we're going to be doing homesteading. I mean, that's harvest time for us in the garden. So I'm trying to pick themes that will actually tie in with what we're up to that month. October, I want to do missionaries. You guys, I love missionary stories, super important for me, but I really thought it would be cool to pick a month of the year where we really hone in and focus on that. I have my eye on a missionary study by Not Consumed Ministries. I'm looking at that right now. I haven't purchased it and looked at it with my hands, but maybe I will link that below because I think they're going to go with some of the missionary books that we already have, so that's an exciting one. November is Remembrance Day, so we're going to learn about world wars that day. In December, ballet and dramatic arts. Okay, something, I'm going to pause here because, we're talking about homeschooling strategy anyways. Something I really want to do is I want to start separating our seasons as far as our extra whimsical, more romantic end of homeschooling goes. So I really want to give summer and like part of spring and fall that nature journaling freedom where we're painting and we're outside and we're in the trees, we're in the woods a lot. And I want to look at our winter time and say, well, what's really special? What can we do in the winter time? Poetry tea time, we have more of that in the winter. I want more of a focus on music in the winter. And another thing I thought of is drama. I really want to like go gung-ho and like make a curtain with like a cable that my kids can make a stage with downstairs, and we can start maybe doing our own plays. Maybe we can do our own plays or get some plays offline. Maybe we'll get some friends involved. I think this could be incorporated in the summer too. Some of my best memories with my homeschooling friends growing up was getting all dressed up like Little House on the Prairie and like going outside and playing house. So there's things like that I really want my kids to do more of. We got them these really cute little old-fashioned hats each for Christmas, little felt hats. And I want to make sure that drama is a part of our learning toolbox. And so I wanted to make sure that we included that. So I have it in December because I feel like December is just a great way. Usually churches are doing a Christmas pageant or things like that where it can kind of naturally come in. But I want to make sure that we're focusing a little bit more on that in December. January, I have handicrafts. Again, that's a winter thing. I feel like we do a lot less of that in the summertime. February is Black History Month, and I also have Shakespeare there, although Shakespeare would tie into my December, so I'm not sure if I'm going to move that around or not. March is Women's History Month, and I have Women in History, but I also have Shop with Dad, because March is a month that my husband is in the shop a lot on the farm getting equipment ready for seeding time, and he's always up for showing the kids mechanics and things like that. He's an industrial mechanic, and he knows so much, and he loves to share it with the kids. So I have a month there to kind of focus on, okay, the kids this month, I'm going to be sending them out with you so you can teach them something. So that is basically my strategy right now. We have the library, which is going to be a huge resource for us. We are building our digital library with the different mega bundles we've done. We have a lot of Gather Around Homeschool units that we have already the files for, that we either have done but can do the next level of them, or we haven't done them yet, or there's even all of year 3 we haven't purchased yet. So we can pull from their units for that. There's other unit making companies out there that I am really intrigued by. Harbor and Sprout does a great bundle that I'm really interested in. So I think my digital library is growing, and I can pull from resources. I'm learning how to be better at that. And I think it's going to work really well with this style of planning where we have a topic, and then because I know what the topics are going to be, I can pre-think of things. Or if I get a really cool resource and I'm like, oh man, yeah, we can use that in August when we learn about that thing, then I can write it down in my planner, which I think it's going to be really good. I don't like to spend hours and hours planning. I like it to be just like easy. I don't like to plan so much either that if we don't do it, we fail, like I don't like that feeling. But really, like sometimes if we miss any one of these topics, that's okay. We might hit it next year. I'm really excited to have a list that we just continually keep circling back to. So I am pretty excited about that. So that's basically our plan for the next year homeschooling. We're going to be doing our math and grammar workbooks, and we're basically going to be flying by the seat of our pants for all the rest, and hopefully being child-led, and hopefully incorporating that real feast of learning, but in a way that I can kind of put together with the kids, or if the kids want to help me put it together, we can kind of decide what we do. So I'm really loving the structure of it for planning, but also the freedom of this style. So maybe this will give you some good ideas. I'm going to link the blog down below with all of the information about the planner that I just showed you. It's going to kind of detail, again, kind of the same thing of our strategy for the year. You can click and print this. The exciting thing, too, is that I made this in a full-page format, so you can print it out, no problem. But I also made a special file just for us mamas with the Happy Planner Classic. You don't have to adjust your printer settings or anything. You could just print it, cut on the dotted lines, and it will fit in your classic-sized Happy Planner. You're welcome. I hate fiddling with the sizing issue. So I think that's going to be really, really cool. So go check it out. And I'm going to link below some Instagram accounts to check out that are also sharing about their year plan coming up. So make sure to go check them out, and we will talk to you next time. Bye.